I'm Tisha, and this is a story of me and my best friend, Blankie.
People, let me tell you about my best friend. He's a one-boy, cuddly toy, my up, my down, my pride and joy.
I'm a big kid. All of my close friends and family say that I'm basically like a 7-year-old stuck in a 21-year-old's body. I love watching Disney Channel, I know all the lyrics to the High School Musical soundtrack, and I may or may not still partake in a game called Dress Up. Okay, so I know what you may be thinking. Your Blankie is your best friend? Well, let me tell you a little bit about him, and then maybe you'll understand why. I got Blankie as a present from my mom when I was 8 months old. He came into this world as a beautiful green cotton blanket with silk lining around the edges. However, nowadays he looks more like a dish rag. This is because I used to drag him on the floor, let my dog play with him, spilled juice on him, and even got a huge piece of gum stuck in him. And it's still there to this day. Now, Blankie is extremely special to me. He has been there for me through some really tough times. When I was 12 years old, my mom was diagnosed with lung cancer. The doctor said that she had 1 to 5 years to live. However, I thought my mom was invincible, so I didn't take their prognosis seriously. I would often joke around with her about how she was going to be bawling hysterically at my graduation, and how she was going to spoil my grandkids. However, when I noticed that my mom was getting sicker, I decided that maybe it was time for me to face reality. In the last few months of her life, my mom and I got really close. Every weekend I would stay home and watch movies with her on our sofa in the TV room. I would sometimes even sleep on the floor beside the sofa just to make sure someone was there if she needed something. Only after 10 months of her diagnosis, she was put in the hospital and was slowly but surely fading away. One night while she was in the hospital, my siblings and I spent the night over at a family friend's house. I brought Blankie with me because, for the most part, I cannot fall asleep without him. For some reason, however, I was really tired that night and ended up falling asleep without him. However, I woke up in the middle of the night feeling frantic because I realized that he was not there beside me. I ran up to my sister and asked, "Hey, have you seen Blankie?" And she said no. Then I woke up my brother and asked, "Hey, do you know where Blankie is?" And he said no as well. Just when I was starting to go into panic mode, I found him sitting on a nightstand next to a digital clock. I remember it read 1:13 a.m. I let out a sigh of relief and muttered, "Thank God," and then went back to bed. The next morning, I was informed that my mom passed away in her sleep. I asked if it was peaceful, and I was assured that it was. I then asked what time did she die, and believe it or not, she died at 1:13 a.m. He knew. And I'll never forget that moment because, looking back, it was like he was telling me that everything was going to be alright. Blankie is also a survivor. When I was a senior in high school, my house caught on fire. Apparently, our Christmas lights initiated the fire because it was raining and windy out that day. When I found out, I was devastated. Not only had we lost almost all of our belongings and one of our pet cats, but also because I knew Blankie was surely a goner. The night before the fire, I decided to sleep in the TV room because I wanted to have a movie playing in the background while I slept. Unfortunately, the TV room was the room that had suffered the most damage. Everything was burned to a crisp, and you couldn't even tell that anything was in the room at all. As I walked through the house to gather any belongings that survived the fire, I started to tear up. Blankie was gone forever. But when I went into my room, I decided to check underneath my pillow and comforter anyway, just in case for some reason he would magically just appear. Well, guess what? He did. And he was there, and I could not believe it. Although I'm now a senior in college and will soon be starting the next chapter of my life, I know that wherever the journey of life takes me, that Blankie will come along for the ride.